Hey guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and today we're going to pull on Choose Your Legend 6. After all of these years for voting for Chrom, he is finally here in first place, and I am so excited to pull for him today. So we will talk about this banner as we go along, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the plan for today is going to be to snipe blue, but I think that I do want to pull all the colors in this first circle just because we have the discount, and I would like to get Tiki and Byleth as well. But Chrom is definitely priority one. I waited all these years for him, and I could not be any happier with how he turned out. I love his art. I love that they gave him the Fire Emblem shield. I love his weapon. I love that it glows. And I think he's going to be super, super strong, like meta-defining strong. So I want to get as many copies as I possibly can today. I'm definitely going to use my free pick on him, and we will spark for him. So at the very least, we're going to get a +1. But I'm really hoping that we get more than that. But I think that if we don't have any blue in a circle, we'll go for, I don't know, maybe colorless, maybe green. I really do like them both equally. In terms of Byleth as a character, I think I like her the most out of the remaining three character-wise, but I have to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of her neutral art. I don't know what it is. I think it's the hair, but I do like her attack art, and I think she's going to be very, very strong, so I would like to get her as well. And as for Tiki, I think that her art is absolutely gorgeous. I absolutely love what they did. I really enjoy the Pennacore art. I'm not sure how much use I will get out of her as a character. I do like her as a character, but I think that Byleth will be maybe a little more useful. So I think that that's going to be kind of our plan if we don't have our desired color. And as for the last character on the banner, we have Seliph. And I'm really happy for all the Seliph fans. I have to be honest, I am not one of them. I much prefer his dad. But I do think he's very strong, and I think that his A skill is very interesting, and I really wouldn't mind a copy for that skill. So that's kind of how I feel about him, but the art's also really good. But in addition to the four that we have on the banner, I did want to mention Geralt because I am actually really excited to see him. I think he's probably one of my favorites of all of the CYL GHBs that we've gotten. I think that he deserves to be here, and his art is so good, and I love that he has a PRF. And I just really think that they did an amazing job. So overall, I think it's a really good banner, mostly because of Chrom, but some other great stuff too. And I think that that does cover everything. So we can probably go ahead and answer. Oh my goodness, we got him. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see him. Okay, let's check IVs. And he is minus attack, but I love him anyway. No complaints here. You know what, we're going to take the free one and we're going to spark for him, so at least we're going to be not minus attack. But I'm super, super excited that he came home. But I was saying that if you have a question, oh, it's Best Girl, that you'd like to ask me, just leave it in the comments with #question, and I will put your question on my list. So our first question today comes from the Iggs and Chompy Feral Gator. They both asked me questions about my thoughts on Resplendent La Rochelle. So I have to say that this is probably the most excited that I've ever been about a Resplendent aside from Sarah. I think that they knocked her design out of the park. I always hoped that she would be a fairy for her Resplendent, and I know that that's kind of a risk because they're really hit or miss with their designs, but I think that hers was absolutely perfect. I think that her color scheme was so well done. I love that she's a light fairy. It matches her personality. I think that her voice lines are absolutely perfect. So for all those reasons, I could not ask for more for Resplendent La Rochelle. She is just perfect. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Dego Ego. And they ask, have you ever considered playing other gachas besides Genshin and Fae? So this might be surprising because my entire channel revolves around gachas, but I play the games that I play in spite of the fact that they are gachas. And so I really don't play too many gachas aside from Genshin and Fae. I play Fae because I love Fire Emblem, and it is kind of fun to summon, and I really play it for the characters. And I play Genshin because of the lore and the exploration and also the characters, and unfortunately I have to get through a gacha to play those characters. So really those are the only two that I play, but I have picked up Tower of Fantasy. I'm really only in the beginning stages, so I don't really have an opinion yet. but I have started playing that a little bit, and I do want to play Star Rail when it comes out as well because that does look very intriguing. But that's kind of how I feel about gachas. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Michael Frazis. And they ask, do you play the Pokemon series at all? And if so, which were your favorite games? So yes, I have played every generation of Pokemon, and I have to say that my favorite overall is probably Pokemon X and Y. I just really loved the starters. I think that Fennekin is one of my favorites of all time. And I just adore the Kalos region. I love that it's based off of France. I just love the whole aesthetic. I just had so much fun with that game. And oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, we got Chris. You know what? She has a lot of great skills, so I'm super happy with that. Okay, let's check IVs. And she is neutral. That's going to be Fury and Spurn for somebody. At least I think she has Spurn. But overall, that's a really good pull, so I'm happy with it. But getting back to this lucky question from Michael, I was saying that X and Y was my favorite, but in addition to that, I do have like a soft spot for Red and Blue because that was my first Pokemon game. I'm also super excited for the new Pokemon that's coming out. I love Sprigatito. It's super, super cute, and I love that we can turn our Pokemon into like Diamond Gem Pokemon. Totally up my alley, and I'm really, really excited to play. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what? I don't think that I have Happy, so this is really, really good. And she is new, so let's check IVs. And she is plus speed minus res. I don't think that she is very fast. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that she's like a slow res-based character. But you know what? She is new, so I am super, super happy. But thank you, Michael, for that extremely lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from M5MS. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, we got another one. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Okay, let's check this one. And he is plus HP minus res. I will absolutely take that. I'm super, super happy to get another one. And we will just keep going. And to answer the very lucky question from M5, they asked who I gave the special whistle to in Three Hopes. So I will be honest, I did not pay attention to what the whistle did. I just picked a character that I loved, so I gave it to Marianne. But thank you for that very lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Zephyr. And they ask, if you could give an alt to a character from each game that hasn't gotten one already, who would it be and which seasonal banner would you want to see them on? Okay, so let's start with Shadow Dragon, and to be quite honest, there aren't too many characters from that game that I love that haven't already gotten alts. But if I had to pick, I think that I would say Camus. I know he has some other forms, but not like truly alts. Oh my gosh, we got another one. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Okay, let's check this one. And he is plus res minus HP. That's another merge. But getting back to this lucky question from Zephyr, I was saying I'd love to see Camus get an alt, and I think that I would choose a summer alt for him. And then for Shadows of Valentia, I think that I would pick either Matilda or Claire, and I would love to see them get a spring alt. And then next up would be FE4, and I would choose Finn because he is wonderful, and I would love to see him get a Valentine's alt. And then up next would be Thracia, and I think that I would choose Sarah, and I would love to see her in one of those like cultural swap festivals, like they did with the Hatari Festival and stuff. And then for FE6, I would choose Klein, and I would love to see him get a summer alt. And then FE7 is super, super easy. I would pick Sarah, of course, and while I would take anything that they would give me, I would love to see her get a Halloween alt. And then for Sacred Stones, I would pick Natasha, and I would love to see her get a summer form so that she could match Joshua. I think it'd be perfect. And then for Path of Radiance, I think that I would choose Rayson, and I would pick for him to be a pirate. I will be honest, I was so sad that the pirate banner went away this year. I was expecting him. I really did not like the thief banner this year, but if we get pirates again, that's what I would want to see. And then for, oh my goodness. Selena is an amazing character. I'm super, super happy with this. Okay, let's check IVs. And she is plus attack. That is amazing. So we will just keep going and getting back to this very lucky question from Zephyr. I think I was up to Radiant Dawn, and I think that I would choose Ranulf, and I would love to see him get a New Year's form. And then for Awakening, I think that I would pick Stall, and I'd love to see him get a summer form. And then after that, we have Fates, and there aren't too many characters that don't have alts that I love. However, there is one, I would say Kaze, definitely deserves an alt, and I'd love to see him get a Halloween form. And then for 3 houses, I think that I would choose Petra, and I would love to see her get a Halloween form as well. But thank you again, Zephyr, for that very lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Aura. And they ask, who do you main in Genshin? So I do have a few characters that I main. Child is definitely the clear choice for me because he is my favorite character of all time. He's just so easy to use on mobile, really, really easy to play, and I just love him. So definitely a Child main. But aside from him, I definitely play, oh my gosh, I did not mean to do that, but that's fine. We're pretty close to our 40. But I was saying that I play Ayaka a ton, also super easy to play on mobile, and I just really love her. So aside from Child, I use her a ton. I have been playing Yoimiya more and more since I've gotten her, and I do my best to play Toma. He may not be the best DPS character, but I do my best with him. And lastly, aside from those characters, I would say Kokomi. Definitely a Kokomi main. I love to hop into multiplayer and just make sure that nobody ever dies. She's just so, so good to play. And I did have a really fun experience back when she was considered a really bad character. I hopped into multiplayer and there was another Kokomi main, and she was also level 90. And it was a time where, like, if you came in with Kokomi, people would kind of laugh at you. But here we were, 2 level 90 Kokomis, and this other player was so excited, and they said, "Oh my gosh, 2 coconuts." And it was just a really fun, wholesome Kokomi moment. So yeah, those are definitely the characters that I play the most. But when we get to Sumeru, I definitely see myself being an Alhaitham main whenever he comes out, and a Nahida main as well. But thank you for that great question. And I think that we probably have time for 1 or 2 more, so let's go ahead and answer another one. And this comes from Time Master. And they ask, do you think the intervention of Byleth is what made Claude to be a different character in your eyes in 3 Hopes? Okay, so I definitely think that you have a good point with Byleth making a difference in the character that Claude is. I think that Byleth had a ton to do with Claude's character development. I think that him not being in school was definitely a detriment to him with the choices that he made in 3 Houses. I think that him being around Byleth and getting an education really shaped him into the character that I loved. So yes, I think that you're definitely onto something. Byleth definitely impacted the character that Claude was, and I'm really happy that he was able to be with Byleth in 3 Houses because it definitely made him a lot better. But thank you for that great question. Okay, so we're at our 40, but we have to pull this blue. It's like required. Okay, smoke. Let's see if it's a clutch Chrom. It's Abel. Oh, that's totally fine. Okay, so let's back out. And we will go ahead and take our free Chrom. I am so, so happy we can do this. Yay! Oh gosh, I am so, so happy that we were able to get so many Chroms today. This is amazing. And we get the thing. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and end things here for now. I got way more Chroms than I expected, along with some other great stuff, and I am just so happy with how this went. And I know that so many of you have been saving for so, so long for these characters, so I truly hope that you got everything that you were looking for. And before I go, I just want to thank everybody that submitted questions. I really, really appreciate your support. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.